Champions again. Champions again. Champions again. Ole, ole, ole. Yes, we've done it again. Got to be the most ridiculous way we've won a title in my lifetime. But how's everyone's weekend? Go on, Shane. How was it?
Mate, the best weekend. I'm absolutely flying. I reckon I've only had about 4 or 5 hours sleep across 3 days, and I couldn't care less. I am absolutely up and about. Looking forward to chatting all things title number 56.
How you going, Willie?
I'm going all right. Saturday started badly for me. I had a bit of a bad morning at work, and I was starting to fear the worst, but it soon all leveled itself out. Work went pretty well in the afternoon, and so did the evening. So, yeah, it was all good for me in the end.
Can't complain with that. With the result, you get there. Yeah, I didn't do my usual spiel. G'day, legends. Welcome to the Celtic Down Under pod. I just realised I didn't do any of that because I started singing, but, you know, spur of the moment thing. You get that sometimes. I'm absolutely on cloud 56. There you go, not cloud 9 today. I'm just loving life. It's just great. So, hope everyone tuning in enjoyed the weekend, enjoyed the game. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of an interesting pod, I reckon. We've got plenty to talk about. But I think we've got to set the scene, right? So, as you're all aware, we won the game on Thursday, our time. Was it Wednesday over in Scotland against Motherwell? And I said in the show notes, meltdowns upon meltdowns upon meltdowns, right? And geez, I think got to touch on this game in particular, the Motherwell game with the penalty. And the reason for me is that flowed into the weekend and setting us up perfectly for, you know, somehow, some way, we just get it done late in games at Celtic this season. So, yeah, we got that done. But I don't want to touch on too much on the Motherwell game. I just want to talk about two things. The penalty, was it the right call? And then the second thing is the aftermath of that and the rabid, absolutely frothing at the mouth, feral stuff going on in the background there leading into the game on the weekend. So, Shane, first up, was it a penalty?
Oh, yes. Thanks for throwing me the easy question. I really appreciate it. So I'll give you my take on it. In real time, I had no idea what was going on. Even when they went up to check, I assumed maybe it might have been on the stray elbow. But then you start to get a little bit of a look at it with VAR and the replays. And, yeah, when you see it, his hand hits the ball. His hands, I'd consider that in a pretty unnatural position. Let's not get into the biomechanics about how far the ball travelled if it hit his hand. And I don't think Chris Boyd has a career in that field anyway. But, yeah, for me, my opinion is it's a penalty because it's just his hand's in an unnatural position and it hits his hand, right? He can feel a little bit hard done by, sure, but I think when you can see the footage and you look at it, it's clear it's hit his hand and it's a pen.
Willie?
I never got to see the game on Thursday morning because I was in a meeting at the time. So I was waiting for the buzz of the phone to tell me it was full-time whistle and it wasn't coming. I wasn't feeling the vibration in my pocket. And I was like, what's going on here? And when something did happen, it was my friend that messaged me to say there was a VAR check for an on-field penalty. So in the middle of a meeting, just head all over the place, trying to digest what was happening in the meeting whilst trying to focus on what was happening in a football match at the same time was just... It wasn't computing with me, but when I watched it back, yeah, it hits his hand. Now, I've heard rumours that they were actually checking, the VAR were checking for the elbow. Was it a potential elbow on Trusty? When they picked up, it was handball on the head. When he picked up, he's gone like that. And you get the like you say, the meltdown and the fallout from it all, like people like Chris Boyd saying if it hits your hand, it stops dead on the ground. Well, I must have been watching women's volleyball all wrong all these years because that never happens, right?
Willie loves the beach volleyball, everyone. That's the one thing you've learnt from this show today. Willie loves watching women's beach volleyball. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame you. But anyway, the thing for me is, yeah, you're right, Willie. They were originally looking at the elbow. That's what the talk was. I was looking at the elbow to the head. Then they spotted the handball. But I look at it on a different part. If that was outside the box, the two hands pushing in the back, that's a foul outside of the box. There was two different players pushing him in the back. But technically, there was 4 fouls. 4 things that could have been a penalty. The 2 pushes, the elbow to the head, and then the handball. And it's just the best. And I'm just going to bring up something here because this guy, he wins the weekend. Going to the game on Saturday with that. But it gets better because I then was on the old Twitter a bit later on. I'm just trying to find it because I've got so many bloody things here that I can bring up on the screen. There it is. So Liam says, "Hey, that's fucking class." He's put that up. Austin Trusty, the guy who actually got fouled, all the reactions, and it's actually his legit account too. So I thought that would have made that bloke's day, I reckon. But yeah, it was definitely a penalty, and you could just see and this is where I wanted to tie it in. Like you guys have said, talking about the hand, how far it can go. I love seeing the videos of people getting outside and demonstrating it to show that it can travel. But you got to realise something. There was a long throw by Ralston. He's absolutely pegged that thing in there like fucking warp speed. It doesn't matter if it comes off your head, your shoulder, your dick, whatever. It's going to go flying.
Well, that's going to hurt, though.
Yeah, no, that would hurt. But at the end of the day, it's gone flying because the ball's been thrown in quick. So it's one of them where it was funny, but I loved going through the stages of grief, basically, that Huns fans in particular and Hearts fans and that were going through. Like, you got their fans thinking, oh, yeah, they beat Falkirk, they've won the league, and then, boom, that happens, right? And they're going, oh, it was never a foul. It wasn't a handball. Oh, his head, his shoulder pushed his hand up. Yeah, but his hand shouldn't have been there. His arm shouldn't have been there to, elbow a guy in the head to push the arm up anyway. So that's a moot point. But then on the back of that, what do? They then start clutching at straws when that's all ruled out. Going, oh, no, it's not that. Oh, it was a foul throw. I woke up on Saturday morning, had a look at our Facebook group. I can't remember who it was. He shared the video of that. And there was over 250 randos trying to join the Facebook group that I had to delete these comments for. All Hearts and Rangers fans saying it was a foul throw. It was never a penalty. I actually counted. There was 200. Hang on, I'll look at it. 257. I kept count that I had to delete people doing that. They're clutching. So I knew with that, you've got that, and then the pressure is now building up. Rangers were 10 points behind us. Hearts were struggling. You're going into a derby. And this is like a combination for me, the way everyone, I've got a mate who's a Tottenham fan, and he messaged me out of the blue going, oh, good luck tonight. I know you'll be bricking it. And I'm like, no, what will be will be. Like, my biggest concern going into the weekend game was what Celtic's going to show up. If it's the one we had against Rangers, we're going to win. If it was the one we had against Motherwell, I didn't think we'd win. So it was one of those situations, but I think it was the 40-odd years for them since there or thereabouts someone else had won one outside of the 2 Glasgow clubs. It was also the whole Leicester City-esque storyline for Hearts. And at the same time, they were carrying on like we shot Bambi because we got the penalty. So it was just one of those, just an absolute ridiculous pylon, and they're making us out to be the bad guys there. So you got something to say, Willie?
Nah, it's just I went into on Friday and I was just thinking, even if we don't win this league, we have absolutely broken Rangers and Hearts. because of that penalty decision. The fallout from it was just nuclear, like, you know what I mean? You had people like Chris Boyd, who the week before when Hibs scored a goal and it came off the guy's hand, says, well, I'm not sure if it was handball or it wasn't handball. It's hard to tell. You just have to trust the referees to go in full in two-footed challenges on referees and how you can't trust them and how they should be hung out to dry. You know, I mean, he's the one who's going to hang them all out to dry live on TV with bitter meltdowns. Like, it's just, it was brilliant. It was sweet. It's joyous. Like, you know what I mean? As a fan of MasterChef, you know what I mean? The old Jean Christophe slaps the table and says, "Fantastique! Serve that to me and I will give you Michelin star."
If I can pick up on Willie's point and just sort of what you were putting down there before, Jared, which was the outburst. We saw obviously the outburst coming from a lot of the usual sources. You know, people like Chris Boyd, people that are prone to come out and critique sort of any sort of decision that goes in our favour. Really, let's be honest with you. But it went beyond that this time, and the fairy tale factor is something that is going to come up in discussion a bit later anyway. But that fairy tale, that Leicester City-esque kind of run of Hearts potentially winning the league, I think enticed a lot of people to jump in and comment on things that they normally wouldn't. And some of the commentary around that decision being overturned and the VAR's usage was utterly embarrassing. The likes of Lineker saying it's the worst VAR decision ever and things like that. There were a heap of others that came out and said similar. I've pondered this for a little while, right? Like, let's take the fairy tale element out of it for a second. Let's just pretend that instead of Hearts being in that position, it's Rangers. Now, obviously, if we get a decision like that at Motherwell, we're going to have the usual sources come out and criticise us, but are we going to get that overwhelming sense of others, particularly those down south, coming out and venting the way that they did? Not a chance in hell. And so that fairy tale really... the approach really brought people to kind of make these stupid and outlandish comments, which proved to be very embarrassing.
Well, on that, Shane, me and my wife were talking about it just before I come in here when we're having dinner, and we're talking not just about this, but we're talking about the whole clutching at straws thing, like, the referee called the game early and all this sort of shit that they're saying now, and make it out that we've robbed them of a title and stuff, and we're just chatting about that, and if... It's not just if the shoe was on the other foot and it was Hearts getting those calls compared to us. Imagine, this is the thing we've got to do here with the media coverage. If it was the Huns versus the Diet Huns, right? It was those two teams. We were third in that situation. So Wilfred Nonce is still our coach. We're in third or fourth right now, okay? This is the thing I'm setting up. If it was Rangers and Hearts... in this exact situation, you wouldn't hear boo about the late penalty at Motherwell, and you wouldn't hear boo about the penalty that happened on the weekend. If the fans went on the pitch for either of those teams to celebrate winning a comp, it'd be Hearts' first title in God knows how long. It'd be Rangers' first title ever in front of fans in this incarnation. They're going to be on the pitch. So the way it's reported and we're being made out to be the big bad wolf here is just ridiculous.
I want to really... I was going to save this for later, but since you've mentioned it, I might indulge a little bit too. And again, similar to you and your wife thinking about this, looking back at this today, if those scenes are reversed, if we're at Tynecastle and they happen to score to go 3-1 up and it secures the league for them, you're right, they're absolutely pouring out onto the pitch, let's be honest with you. And you can feel however you feel about people running onto the pitch. I'm going to put my hand up straight away. I'm not a huge fan of it personally. It's just not my thing. I think the safety of players and officials and coaches should always be paramount, right? So I'm not big on that. But I can understand the overwhelming sense of emotion and occasion, right? So I get it. But do you really think, and I've seen article after article just critiquing our fans, critiquing them running onto the pitch, calling for the match to be replayed, the abandon, the 3-point deduction. Do you genuinely think if those situations were reversed and it was at Tynecastle and they were running onto the pitch to celebrate a title, that would be written up the same way? Not a chance in hell.
Yep, 100%. So, yeah, it's what are you thinking there, Willie?
And just like Shane says, some of the stuff that's been coming out is just absolutely embarrassing. Like, you know, I mean, you've got people coming out and saying, the SFA and the referees are all pro Celtic. You're talking about John fucking Beaton and Andrew Dallas here. You know what I mean? Two of the staunchest cunts in the fucking fraternity. And they're going to turn around now and say that, oh, they're pro Celtic. Come on, the guy goes and drinks in a Rangers boozer after awarding Rangers a penalty that wins in the fucking game and gets his drinks bought from the whole night, and now he's getting police protection against his own fans. And where the fucking is Chute? Why isn't that? Like, you know what I mean? But again, look, the fans were on the pitch. They shouldn't have done it. They're idiots, right? You know what I mean? And to fair play to the vast majority of fans in Celtic Park booed them for being on there, like, you know what I mean? But I haven't seen any videos. If there was videos out there of us actually attacking the Hearts players, they would have been in circulation by now. You know what I mean? They would have been out there to show the world that this is what Celtic fans do. The only videos I've seen of any sort of things happening is Lawrence Shanklin going for someone, and he's probably just had enough of people walking up to him, giving him the fingers, because that's what everyone was doing. And there's another one. I can't remember the Hearts player who does it, but he grabs a phone off one of the Celtic guys and then just stamps on it. Like, that's the only sort of malicious acts I've seen in there. It's just overjoyousness, you know what I mean? You're running up, giving people the fingers and that, but there's rumours are Lawrence Shanklin's had his nose broken. Nobody saw any blood on him when he was getting hauled off the pitch. Nobody, like, so. Yeah, it shouldn't have happened, but I don't think we're as black as we've been painted out to be in it all, like.
Yep, 100%. Lawrence Shanklin is a rat-faced prick. There you go. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Along with their manager. But, yeah, so we'll just get into the game and then we'll just roll on to everything else. So, starting lineup, going into the game, I thought the big call going into it was the starting lineup was pretty much spot on what I expected. Sinisalo, Johnston, Trusty, Scales, Tierney, McGregor, Engels, Nigren, Yang, Tenecti, Maeda up front. The big call, though, for Martin O'Neill was bringing Callum Osman into the squad and dropping Rio Hurtado out. Now, apparently Rio was injured, but bloody big call. Shane's down there somewhere. So, yeah, it's a bit of a big call on that front, but it was the right decision. So, going into the game, Shane, how are you feeling?
Oh, nervous as hell. I couldn't sit still for 5 hours. I was at home. My partner had gone out for the day, and I was at home, and I was doing every bit of housework I possibly could just to take my mind off the game. I was vacuuming, mopping floors, doing dishes. I was doing everything, and I just couldn't. And then I'd basically done all that and just couldn't sit still. So I ended up going in early to the city. I was going to the CSC, and I ended up getting into the city about 2 or 3 hours early just because I was not able to process. I was just on edge pretty much from the word go. But in terms of the lineup, I completely agree with you on Callum Osmond. I love the decision to bring him in. I think it just something we've struggled with all season is having people come off the bench that can make a difference, and we've got that with big Iheanacho, but we struggled a little bit with predictability, and Callum Osmond gave us something that was just a little bit out of the box and something they wouldn't have been preparing for, and in a game like this where there's no tomorrow, you need every little edge that you can get, so I was all for it.
Willie, what was your thoughts? How are you heading into it?
I was quite relaxed. I'm not too bad. It's the half hour before the game when it all kicks in with me. I was just a nervous wreck then. I couldn't sit still. There was points during the game I felt I was going to be physically sick and stuff like that. I mean, the last time I felt that bad, I think it was the Georgia Samaras Ibrox game. I was puking before that game. The nerves that we had to win that game to have any chance of winning the league, and I was actually sick before the game, and I was sick at half time, and I had the same sort of nerves going on inside me. There was points during the game I was hiding behind the couch. There was points I was over by the breakfast bar over there, which has got the sink on it, and I was just, I'm going to be sick here, I better get standing over here just in case it does happen. The nerves really did get to me just in the build up to the kickoff though, and during the game it was just like, oh my god, what's going on. But to be fair, it was 11:30 kickoff here. I actually managed to get a little sleep before it. I went to bed at about 7:30, got some sleep in, so I knew because it was going to be a late night, and if we won it, we would be up till 2 or 3 in the morning watching the celebrations. So I got some sleep in before it, but yeah, I was pretty nervous in the build up to it.
Yeah, it was one of those games, Willie, where I wasn't feeling nervous, and then I put the feed on, and yeah, it was not ideal. Shane, do you want to give us a rundown of the first half?
Oh yeah, totally. So for me, it was. I was thinking about this today. I think if we're obviously a little bit nervous. I think the nervousness kind of matched the first half performance because it was a really cagey first 45 minutes of football from both teams. To be honest with you, like I thought we started. We just we the midfield was really congested. Our front third really wasn't linking up that well. There were a couple of openings here and there, but that final ball was really lacking. We really struggled to generate anything. The endeavour was there, the effort was there, but we couldn't make anything happen. There was no fluidity to our play or anything like that. And I don't think they necessarily sat back. They absorbed what they could, but they had moments where they got out and ran at us and came at us, and they had more shots on goal than us in the first half. But it looked like we were heading into a pretty basic stalemate going in at half time, and unfortunately, obviously, they score not too long before half time. I'll just get into the goal real quickly because I still struggle to work out how you allow Lawrence Shankland to be completely unmarked at the back post on a corner. Like, to me, that was just fucking mind-boggling to me. I lost my mind watching that in the pub. And it was deflating. It was really deflating because I think we were heading in, if we'd headed in at halftime 0-0, I think we would have felt at least frustrated, but at least confident that we could score in the second half. But for them to go 1-0 up so close to halftime, it was generally frustrating. I don't think you can put too much or enough emphasis, I should say, on the goal that we scored just before halftime. That is crucial to us and what happens in the second half. So obviously, we immediately pretty much pick up the pace. We get the ball forward, get the ball out wide on the left. Ball comes in and hits the hand. I think it might be Kizarides' hand. It might hit. It's a clear as penalty. It's a clear as day penalty. Let's be honest with you. If you're not giving a pen for that, you might as well just throw the rule book away. And
I'm going to jump in now if I can.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So I got my tinfoil hat on now because of the commentators, right? Because the funniest thing when that goal happened, the penalty, is the commentators like, "Oh no, it can't be a penalty. It's off his belly. It's off his belly," and they're carrying on like that. So I'm like, that mob with all their bloody bullshit that they've been going on about with the whole never a penalty in 2 games in a row, they're all wearing this friggin' thing. That's why I just messaged the missus, bring me in some tinfoil. So absolutely like mental, the fact that anyone could say that's not a penalty. And what you're saying, Shane, about their goal, yeah, it was some pretty weak marking at the back post, but like, saying me and the missus were talking pre-podcast about the game and everything, and she made a good point, which I'll get into, but all game, Hearts had the advantage. I'm not talking about on the field and the way it was played, with the score. When it was 0-0, they're winning the league. They score first, they're now 4 points ahead. We get the penalty, it brings it even. They're still winning the league. So they had 86 minutes to win this league. This tinfoil hat bullshit that they're talking about is not needed. It's bloody itching. Anyway, totally worthwhile. No, that replaces the Tilio tiara now. But Willie, what was your thoughts first half?
I thought the first half was pretty cagey. I thought Hearts had a game plan, and it was pretty effective. They lined up with a 4-4-2, that Kabori and Shankland up front, but their tactic was pretty simple. Just give us the ball, let Trusty have the ball, place Shankland between Scales and Trusty and Kabori on Callum McGregor, and then Austin Trusty only had 2 options: put it to Young or put it to Johnson. He can't pass across the field because he's so left-footed. So the amount of time Trusty was getting on the ball and not being able to do anything with it, like, it was pretty clear that was Hearts' game plan. They were going to man mark us out of this game, you know what I mean? So they had their game plan and they stuck to it. And like Shane says, really, really poor marking allowed Shankland to go in. And as you touched on, Hearts had 2 ways of winning this: to win or to draw, and we only had one. We had to win outright. But yeah, it was like I say, a cagey first half. I don't think Tierney and Taneki did much on the left-hand side, but then that's the way Hearts would set up. They were trying to eliminate that balls over to the switch ball from Trusty over to the left. And yeah, we got the penalty, which clearly wasn't a handball, because if it was a handball, it would have dropped dead and sat beside him on the edge of the box. If you go by Chris Boyd's theory, yeah, I think I probably will need that. But yeah, if it hit his hand there, it would have dropped there and stopped on the 18-yard line. It wouldn't have been pinging back over. So yeah, but it was Arnie Engels. I mean, 18 penalties he's taken for us over his time here, and he scored 17 of them or something like that. So that's a phenomenal record, like. And he showed some cojones to step up. Shawlow was just too high to get to it, but it was a good penalty, and it went in, and that was us back in the game. So, and all to play for in the second half.
The thing for me is, I'll get rid of my tinfoil mullet.
We go to lengths on this podcast. I tell you what, everyone tuning in, we go to lengths on this pod.
Unfortunately, my swearing outburst about referees has probably demonetised us, and Jara will have to pay for that tinfoil himself now.
Or Gibson says she wants the tinfoil back for roast chicken on Sunday. No, mate. No, all good. The thing is, like, you're saying the tactics were pretty obvious there. 6 seconds into the game, they started their tactics. They were bloody one for the Aussies, a bit of lay down Sally for you all game, trying to waste waste as much time as possible. So I was just trying to make it a disjointed game, not let us actually play some attacking, flowing football. And yeah, they're a bunch of hammer throwers. You all right, Shane?
Yeah, no, all good. Was distracted.
Unfortunate. So second half, made a sub at half time, didn't we? Was it one or two? I can't remember.
Yeah, Big Ian came on at halftime.
I knew Big Ian. I wasn't sure if someone else come on or not. I was trying to. That's right. No. It was the start of the Maeda moment. So what I loved about Dazen in this game, and we're going to talk about each player anyway, but the thing I love about Dazen is he played 3 different positions in the game. He started at striker and ended at left back. Like, what the actually 4 positions he played, because he played wing back, and then he was actually proper playing left back later on. Crazy. So, yeah, it was bloody brilliant to see him go into the wing, Big Ian come on, mix it up a bit, and off we go.
Well, it was a really important change, and I couldn't quite work out if it was just for Ian, or Ian Archer, I should refer to him as, or Big Ian, whether he was just going to give us something different, a different dynamic leading the line, or whether it was more Martin saying, look, if it continues to be this cagey, chances are going to be few and far between, so we're going to need someone who's absolutely going to bury an opportunity if it comes. But his introduction just after half-time, or just on half-time, was really, really important to changing the dynamic of the game. His work rate was really important. He just gave the centre-backs a different proposition they had to deal with. They weren't comfortable all of a sudden. He was dropping in, he was getting on the ball, he was turning with it well, and he just forced them... He forced their defenders to be a little bit tighter. They dropped a lot deeper. I thought they sat a bit deeper than I was expecting, and I was a little bit surprised. They seemed to invite us on a fair bit. And there's no surprise that we got the ascendancy during that second half. And a lot of that was due to the change of Ian Archo, and also Callum Osman when he came on as well.
I'll piggyback off the back of what you just said there, Shane. I thought it was, we made the subs, and then it took a good 15, 20 minutes for us to get into the game and start to get the ascendancy. Because I honestly thought from the start of the second half to about the 70-minute mark, it was a pretty open game, both teams going back and forward. And then our guys that we subbed on started to get into the swing of things. And Iheanacho, you said the options were, did we need someone who's going to take a chance or mix it up? I thought it was more because we had to play more direct. Because the way they were mixing it up and making us play long, we weren't able to go through the lines. Our midfield was non-existent majority of the first half, the way they man-marked. And our wingers didn't get much service. So by doing that, we had to go more direct. So we needed that target man who can get the ball, bring it down, play others in, turn, make some runs. So I think the adjustment and getting him into it. And then the 2 biggest subs for me off the back of that was Callum Osman coming on, changed the game. But at the same time, we've got to talk about Marcelo Sirachi. Fuck, he's got some engine in him, and he's a bit of a mongrel. I love him. I want him signed up. Sign him up. The way I was about Arahau, I just look at him and go, ideal world, if we could get big Julian Arahau back next season on the right, and we could get Sirachi on the left as a backup option and rotate Tierney a bit, I'd be happy as a pig in shit like that. You know, 2 wingers, wing backs, plenty of movement, plenty of effort, and they're not afraid to leave a boot in on someone. Perfect. That's what we need. Bit of mongrel, but yeah, it was the big adjustment on when we got on top in the second half, Shane, was when we took off Austin Trusty, we put an extra striker on, and Martin showed the world, and Wilfred Nancy as well, that we actually can play a 3-5-2. And we got out there and we got on top when we had 2 up top and we had 3 at the back, and we just got it done. I was looking going, oh, they're tall. We weren't really small at the back, but Scales was an absolute warrior when he was the only centre back on there. You've got Alistair Johnson on the right. You've got Sirachi on the left, and you've got Scales in the middle. He was an absolute warrior at the back as well.
Well, and what you were saying about, just to jump on your point regarding sort of getting Arahau and Sirachi potentially on long-term deals, all of a sudden that does open up the possibility of playing with the back 3 and the 2 wing-backs, right? You've got Sirachi, you can have Tierney play at left centre-back, you've got Trusty and Scales who can play in that central centre-back role, you've got Alistair Johnston, who obviously filled in there at right centre-back, and then Arahau to play as wing-back, right? All of a sudden that opens up the possibility of actually persisting with that long-term.
Only problem is we'd be tiny, absolute midgets in Europe.
There's nothing wrong with being short.
Shane, you could get a Guernsey at centre-back.
Lee Broxham-esque. For those who don't know, who are tuning in, who might not know who Lee Broxham is, look up Lee Broxham, the legend that is Lee Broxham.
Flock.
Oh, no, I won't hear it. Anyway, enough about that.
Yeah. So, Willie, what was your thoughts second half?
Second half, we took Iheanacho on, and they moved pretty quickly. I think within a couple of minutes of the first half, the second half starting, they took that Altina off and put on, I can't remember who they put on now, but they made the substitution because they were wary of what Iheanacho could do. But at that point, it was pretty obvious to me, Hearts had no intention of winning the game. Their main purpose was not to lose. So they were quite happy to give us the ball and maybe play us, try and pull us out, make us step out and try and get in behind us. But they just couldn't do it. They couldn't hurt us. And the longer the second half wore on, the more we stepped up our pace of play until, like you guys said, that the next string of substitutions came when Austin Trusty came off. I think Kieran Tierney came off then too.
Yeah.
Yang, he came off as well. And they really did mix it up. And I just remember watching Sirachi's face going up to was it Scales or was it Johnson? He just walked up to him and he goes like, three at the back, and just shrugged his shoulders as if to say, well, I don't know either, but we're doing it, like, you know what I mean? And they just go out there and they tore it up, like, you know what I mean? Hearts were living dangerously though when it came to we were really starting to increase the pressure on them, and there was the Iheanacho shot that hit off the post, and like as soon as that hit the post, I kind of thought, oh no, that's not going to be it. That's not going to be the one big chance that we needed to take. Luckily enough, it wasn't, like, you know what I mean. But then we got the second goal, which really did settle the nerves, like, and as you can tell with the nuclear fallout over the stupidity of everything this week. Us, apparently Daisen Maeda was offside in the build up to that play, and the lines were so close together that nobody knew that Callum Osman was even on the pitch. He was the one who received the ball. Everyone was looking at the time.
I've got a picture to show you.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it. Look at those tight lines there.
Funny thing is, when the game was on, I'm looking at Daisen going, hang on, but his shoulder's offside. I'm looking at Daisen, I'm like, and then like 20 seconds later, I was like, wasn't even Daisen, you dickhead. He was in the second pass. What are you talking about? Yeah. It's a very Kyogo-esque one. But this bloke, the Parkhead Faithful, he runs some Instagram page and Facebook. Look, he was spot on with this summary of it. So, allow me to assist Rangers and Hearts fans once again claiming the SFA and SPFL are cheating someone cheating are somehow out to help Celtic and pushing the cheating nonsense. As you can clearly see here, which is a picture I just shown, the only player initially standing offside is Dazen. However, if you actually watch Sky Sports replay properly, phase one of the move shows the ball being played to Callum Osman, who was onside by an absolute mile. Osman then assists Maeda, and by the time Dazen receives the ball in phase two, he's also onside. Simple stuff. And then there's a bit of carry on. So, yeah, it was just obvious. Like, it was the most ridiculous. Like, that Lino, I saw him early on in the game, and I'm like, fuck, he looks like a hun bastard, I'll tell you that much. You know, so I'm like, he's absolute staunch as that guy. And then the fact of the matter is he lifts his flag up for that. How often are the refs told, do not put your flag up in a close one like that. Let the VAR review it. That's what they're told, right, Shane?
Yeah, absolutely.
And he puts his flag up. And he's so far wrong. Slater's like, oh, that fixes in.
It was quite interesting seeing the meltdown and sort of the screenshots and everything like that, commenting on that. And to me, I was just looking at it going like, tell me you're not watching the game without telling me you're not watching the game. Yeah. Because that was how you could tell people were just tuning in and sort of seeing these images and going, well, that's offside. They've been robbed again. What's going on? I was like, well, if you were watching the game, you'd know upon seeing a couple of replays that wasn't the ball. It actually goes to Callum Osman first, right? So... yeah, it was the meltdown over that was just hilarious.
Yeah, it's one of them ones where it's just ridiculous. Like as I said, they had up until the 86th minute to when that goal happened, which was actually the 88th minute. Now I'm looking at it. They were winning the league at that point.
Yep.
And then this bloke just happened to lift his bottle up and completely butcher some things. Yeah, but it was just delicious to see that. It's a nice way to sum it up. Absolutely magnificent to see his meltdown. But then we go on and we're up, so we're winning the league. They have to throw bodies forward. They bring their keeper up to halfway for a free kick just before Callum Osman's goal. Then keeper's up. Now, Shane, when you were at the CSC, did everyone realise when the ball broke to him that the keeper was out of position?
Yeah, we saw the keeper go up, and when it broke and Ian Archer got the block on and the ball broke kindly, we knew what was unfolding. It was genuine party time.
Because Willie mentioned it before that, you know, he was in the kitchen, he was behind the couch, he was whatever. All game I'm sitting on my couch, CSC, out in the lounge room watching this game going, oh yeah, this is awesome, blah, blah, blah. And then, I don't get nervous at games, but I was just like, oh, squeaky bum time, get up. And it was like just before that free kick, I was like, when I saw him keep up, I'm like, I've got to stand up. I just went and stood behind my couch. And I said to the missus after, if something went wrong, I wouldn't have seen them score, I would have been behind the couch, laying, like just hiding. And then that breaks, and I'm like, we did it. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, I'm losing my shit. It was great. It was absolutely great. Living the dream. And the party on that goal is, the best part is you just know we're about to score another goal. It's mathematically, there's no chance this, like a minute and a half left, they're not going to score 2 goals. The league is ours. And just seeing Osman get closer and closer and closer. And just the overview shot you showed, Willie, of the midfielders didn't even run up there. They just took off to the crowd to celebrate. The defenders were on their knees going like this. Oh, it was just great. It was just, yeah. The stuff of legends, the stuff of dreams. Like, there's going to be players, there's going to be young kids there. Like Jim Moore on the Axon, right? He talks about enjoy the. He used to say enjoy the league, the challenge. That's what he said. Enjoy the run-in. He used to say that all the time, and I'd be like, yeah, Jim, I always want to win in a month, like by the split. Now I finally get it. I've been following Celtic for the best part of 40-odd years and from over here, and yeah, I get it. This one's right up there. This one's right up there with stopping the 10, in my opinion.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because one of the things that's been floated around both before the match and after the match is that it's just another title for Celtic. You know, that it's some sort of, it's diminished because it's Celtic winning, it's just Celtic winning again. That that does a disservice to the season we've had. The season we've had, all of the things that have gone wrong. We've had 3 managers over 4 different stints, a plethora of injuries. We're about 15 points behind at one stage. We'd lost 6 out of 8 games, which is unheard of us. We'd lost 8 league games this season, which is unheard of Celtic. And yet we were the right team and the best team when it mattered, right? When all of our opponents above us started to fall, we didn't. We didn't falter. They did. And we ensured that we were a chance to win the league. And from an outsider looking in, it's been genuinely exciting. But to be able to win the league in the fashion we've had, I agree with you, Jared. This is up there for me with one of the best title wins. It's easily top 3 for me in what I've seen in my lifetime supporting this club. I can't stress enough just how amazing it is with the season we've had to win this league. And for anyone who wants to diminish it and just pretend it's another title, it's anything but. And you don't know what you're talking about.
Willie, you got anything?
Nah, listen, this is probably the worst Celtic side to win a title in my lifetime, and it's a special one for them to go out and to be. Even I thought it was over after the Wilfred Nancy debacle. I thought there might be time to pull it all around again, and the Dundee United game came, and we lost that, and it's just like, that's it, it's done, it's over. You don't lose 8 games and go on to be crowned league champions, and yet here we are, league champions. And the fact that the whole of Scotland was willing Hearts to win this, and we've turned it around. We've just gone out there and done our business, and Hearts' arse has collapsed and their bottle's gone, and they've lost it. Makes it even more sweeter because you look at who's in the dugout at fucking Tynecastle, and it's Derek McInnes, and you just take that, you bitter
That's
man.
why the name is what it is tonight, Willie. I don't know if you saw what I named the episode.
Oh, have I? Listen, my oldest daughter's been pestering us to get foster puppies, and we bring them in, they stay with us until they find a forever home. And we've got one here at the moment, and my wife decided she would take it out to go to the toilet right at the moment when they were just about to blow the full-time whistle, and they showed a close-up with Derek McInnes, and then my wife walked in, and up at the big 58-inch TV giving it that to Derek McInnes' face. I turn around and my wife's looking at me like, what are you doing?
You want to know the funny thing, Willie? If my wife saw me doing that, she'd be joining right in.
Yeah. It was just one of that moments, just like, what was it? Superb.
The thing is, I just had a quick look while you boys were talking. So when Brendan left, we were 8 points behind Hearts. Martin gets us back to within, I think it was within 3. And then he gets it back to 3. Then Wilfred Nancy comes in. We're 15 behind by the time he leaves. Now, sure, the 15 behind was because Hearts had played 1 extra game over us as well. So it was 12 points plus they'd played an extra game. That was pushed it out to 15. But it was 15 points when Martin O'Neill came in. And here we are, champions. Yeah. We won our last 7. Rangers fell apart, won 1 game post-split. Hearts won 2, drew 1, lost 2. Fell apart. I've been saying on this pod, the game I was most worried about in the split was the game at Fir Park. I wonder why, as we saw in that game. I wasn't worried about Hearts because we've seen Derek McInnes is a bottle merchant. He did it at Aberdeen 2 times against us in cup finals where they were up heading into the 70th minute. The guy's a bottle merchant. Mm-hmm. The worst scenario would be, say, if he gets the flick at Hearts, they sell a few players, they bring in a few more of the Tony Bloom sort, and then they bring in Askew from Motherwell. That would set them up to actually launch forward. Now, I don't know what we do with our manager situation. We'll see. It's still a watch his space, but yeah, they're gonna improve. They're gonna come back again next season. They're not gonna be just a 1-season thing. I don't think they're gonna challenge us because we're not gonna be, as you said, this is one of the worst Celtic teams that win the title. We're not gonna be this poor again next season. But we've got to get some players in.
It's funny you make that comment. Because I still can't get over the electricity of what I witnessed on Saturday night. Like I was watching the highlights again earlier just before the pod, and I've watched them about 100 times now, and I'm still getting heart palpitations watching those highlights alone. I just can't get over that as I said, that electricity of those goals and those moments and the VAR check and the pause and the delay and the celebration. But you comment about Hearts potentially getting better and, maintaining that level. It's one of the reasons why I think, irrespective of the fact Hearts didn't win and the fairy tale didn't happen, that this Scottish football season, the Premiership, should be celebrated, because it was a title race that went down right to the wire. On the last day, the two teams playing each other, potentially winning it. This is why I take a lot of umbrage with people like Simon Jordan making those comments that basically Celtic won, can take my eyes off Scottish football again because Hearts didn't win. That's such a petulant and ignorant take. People should be embracing this and looking at this going, well, what can Hearts do next year to bridge that gap? What can they do to get better? Will they challenge again? How is Celtic going to improve to make sure they fight off the challenge? People should be looking at this and going, what an amazing season. I've got to start watching some Scottish football. And yet you've got absolute airheads like Simon Jordan making those comments. It's just pathetic. And I didn't want that to go ignored. And I saw Chris Sutton bit back at him, and good on Chris, because he's always supporting Scottish football and Celtic in particular. But I get so frustrated with the fact that the fairy tale didn't unfold, that somehow this season hasn't lived up to expectations. It's gone beyond that, and people should embrace and love Scottish football for what it is.
Yeah, this is the tweet you're talking about, either Simon Jordan one. What a shame for Scottish football. Hearts, nothing exciting on you about Celtic winning the league. Everyone can go back to not caring about Scottish football. How about people don't care about your opinion, mate?
Well, I'm going to care about Scottish football, Simon, and I don't care if you don't. But I hope other people choose to join us and get involved with it. And hopefully this season has brought a few more eyes to Scottish football, because it is genuinely an awesome league and awesome standard of football to watch.
True that. So, player focus, obviously. We might go a little long. Sorry, Willie, it's a bit late. I know where you are.
I'm happy to keep going, mate. Just you keep going, I'll keep going.
Players, anyone in particular you want to talk about? I'll start with Sinosalo. I thought he had a couple of good saves there, other than the first goal. But his play at the back, especially when they were in the first half, where they were just trying to keep the ball to Trusty and get him in a bit of trouble. Sinosalo was just sort of, okay, sometimes I've got to hoof it, sometimes he's got to try and play the pass. I thought he was pretty good in the game, all things considered.
I've already talked ad nauseum about Iheanacho, so I want to give a bit of love to Dyson myself personally. I just want to comment on the fact that this last sort of 7 or 8 fixtures, he's been absolutely immense, and without him, we don't lift this league title. Let's be honest with you. And he was incredible again on Saturday. He was leading the line, then he moves to left wing, then he has to fill in at left back, and he's honestly just has the energy. Everyone's sapping, everyone's fatiguing. He's not. He's still running on top of the ground. He's doing everything he can to win this title. And that celebration of him after that VAR check came in and that goal was given, and just seeing him sort of, celebrate on the ground, that was genuinely emotional for me. I got emotional watching that. That was huge. That felt really big. And for someone who we've lamented this season a little bit, who hasn't hit the levels, and we thought maybe he should have been signed, or maybe he's going to get signed and not go out the legend that he could have been, that's well and truly been put to bed. He goes out the biggest legend that he could have been, in my opinion, in this modern era. And he's going to get celebrated as he should be.
There you go, Stan.
There you go.
I had that one ready to go for you.
Thank you.
I thought, agree with what you're saying about Days in there. Willie, you anyone?
I thought Engels had a decent game. I thought him and Callum McGregor, even though Hearts did man mark us and it was hard to sort of try and pass through their stodgy midfield, I thought Engels and McGregor had decent enough games there. McGren kind of goes missing, and your midfield 3 suddenly becomes a midfield 2. But Alistair Johnson, in that first half, he was kind of a lone man on that right-hand side, because Yang just kind of went missing completely. I don't think Yang or Tanecki really covered himself in glory in the game, but again, the boy Milne and boy Kingsley in their fullback positions pretty much marked them out the game. So Alistair Johnson too, I thought he had a decent game, working up and down that right-hand side, and pretty much on his own for large periods of it. But yeah, Dyson Maeda, it was another masterclass from him. And I like to give flowers to Iheanacho as well, actually, for when Benny Beningami's hamstring popped. He just stopped. He did a fair play to the guy, like, you know what I mean. He could have burst into the, like, what little pace he had would have got him forward a little bit. When Birmingham's lying on the ground injured, but he just says, "Nah, do you know what? I've recently had hamstring issues. That sounded like you're in pain. I'm gonna have to stop here." And he just stopped. And fair play to the guy, like, you know what I mean. Credit where credit is due for that.
Yeah, fair enough. Then we could talk about everyone, but yeah, Callum Osborne was touched on him earlier, like an impact. Like the thing was, he made his debut early on, got injured, and he just came in and done an impact. Like I'm just looking forward to seeing him play next season.
Mm-hmm.
He was massive, absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Like, just his involvement in he obviously, just before the Maeda goal, he's the one that creates a chance for Negrin that I think either goes over the bar or gets saved. He just looked electric when he came on, and exactly what we hoped he would be when he was picked by Martin.
Well, you got to look at it, Shane. He's come on, and he had an assist, and then scored for the match winner, and then scores the third, the one to confirm everything.
Yep.
Like, you can't ask for much more than that from a 19, 20-year-old kid making probably his fourth or fifth first team appearance for us for the season because of injury. Like, absolute cracker. Now, got a few little memes to bring up, obviously, and a few little posts because that's what we got to do. A few things I want to point out. So, number one, this Tifo. Fuck me dead. Unbelievable. Something... And that is spot on. Like, there's a fairy tale about this club. To have that tifo on that game, it just lined up perfect.
You want to talk about fairy tales. There's Martin O'Neill. His last season, when he was full-time manager, he lost on Helicopter Sunday. You know what I mean? They went on and won the Scottish Cup that season, but he lost the league on the final game of the season. And there's a 73-year-old man coming back to claim a title on the final game of the season. I mean, there's your fairy tale there, you know what I mean? No one's talking about that. They're just all so disappointed and dejected that Celtic have won the title again. Like, fuck them.
This was one of the first ones I saw post-game.
Yeah.
Can't believe that was this season. This one I loved as well. Days spent top of the league, Hearts 226. This is since the start of October. Celtic 1. This one right now, Ali McCoist is home crying like a little girl. I guess it's a little funny. Just a nice one for the stat heads here. James Forrest has won 25% of all of Celtic's league titles.
That's an insane statistic.
He's got like 14 now.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's an insane statistic.
I love this one here. Choose tear spotting. From the same city that brought you Hibstead, directed by Martin O'Neill. Ah, brilliant. Good old the wee rat. McInnes is talking about, they were in physical danger. It's clearly punched a wall. Have a look at that hand. St. Martin, obviously. This is a good one here. What else we got? I love this one here. Noel Fraser. Let the courts decide who won the league. Only in Scotland could this potentially happen. Celtics are here. Well played. What's the charge? Winning a title? A succulent SPFL title? I can look at Srirachi getting into Shanklin. I just had to bring that picture up. We got this one here. I'm trying to watch my weight, so I'll have the dyed Hunpang, please. And Willie.
Aye.
Wheels are falling off.
Off, aye. I love the fact that the Hearts players had to go on that bus as full kit wankers after the game, all running out of the stadium.
The funny thing is, I'm going to talk about it. I don't know if the picture was true or not, that they already had their top decker bus ready to go. Right, so they already had that, and then they after the Falkirk game, and then we got our late penalty and won against Motherwell. They had the signs, ready, the champion signs ready to go, and watching them get packed up was just an absolute pisser as well. And that brings me to this meme here that I saw. If I can get it to show up. Which team has been 7 minutes or less away from winning the league title and have fucked it up twice? A, Hearts. B, the Jambo. C, Heart of Midlothian. And I got one thing. It's not a... Oh, we'll stick with the memes. 56, disgusting. Last one. Just because you have to. Fucking yes. But we're talking about the post-game carry-on, right? Now, John White's got this one. The sheer scale of venom being directed at Celtic and their fans is more about football. It's about the anti-Irish Catholic racism and bigotry. I know we don't normally get in politics, but that sums that up. So if you check that one out. But I actually brought that one up because I clicked on the wrong one. JBNY Sports, over the last 8 seasons, this is the best. 7% of Celtic's goals have come from the spot, the lowest in the Premiership. 14% of goals conceded by Celtic have come from the spot, the highest in the Premiership. So I'll bring the stats up a bit here. So as you can see, like, we've had 66 penalties, we've scored 50 out of 717. So, yeah, that's one for anyone saying that, oh, we get gifted penalties and all that stuff, especially in the last week. Just shove it right all the way up your ass that it ends up in the back of your throat. That's all I have to say. So, anyway, I'm the party pooper. So, yeah, realistically, we've got a couple of things I wanted to quickly talk about before we wrap the pod up. But best thing that come out of this is, I'm going to say, other than us winning, whoever the Hibs fan who did that near Tynecastle, you're an absolute classic, absolute legend. But, yeah, our path to the Champions League, there you go. We're guaranteed seeded now. So we will be playing one of the unseeded teams, one round, just like this season just gone, to get in. So it'll either be AK Athens, NK Celje, however you say that, Celje.
Celje.
Yeah, Celje. Moni and Nicosia, Lask or Viking. So that would be pretty interesting. Look who's seeded as well in the league path. Bodo Glimps down there, so at least we don't have to go near them as well. So, yeah. I just wanted to bring that up because that was something that completely got forgotten about in the thing as well. We don't have to go through as many qualifiers for the Champions League, so perfect.
Comes late in August too, so it gives the rebuild a chance to bed in before we go into that game.
Come on, Willie, don't be silly. Fuck, are you dumb?
Wishful thinking. I'm on cloud 9 here, you know what I mean? I'm thinking high, thinking good, thinking well. Let's look forward. Let's be positive. Like we're going to do it. We're actually going to sign players with money. We're going to go in with cash.
I think you mean that's got like a full preseason for Yang to lock down that right wing spot, right?
Yeah.
Or Jota to come back in because it's like a new signing.
Near beaten to be playing at centre half.
I wouldn't put that past our club. No, we'll have a centre back pairing of Stephen Welsh and what do we got? Who's the other young centre back?
Dane Murray.
Dane Murray, maybe. Yeah, that'll probably work. Anyway, the thing you got to realise, Willie, is it gives us a full pre-season to do that, but you got a World Cup in there, so everything's going to be on the back burner. So it's going to be an interesting situation. Now, on the weekend, by how many are we going to beat Lenny's team? I say we're winning 4-1.
I reckon we're going to do something we haven't done for quite a while this season, and quite a lot of this season, is we're going to keep a clean sheet. I reckon we win 3-0.
Willie, are you thinking?
I'm going 4-0. Callum Osmond hat-trick.
Oh, there you go. Why don't you tell us, man? You know Martin's not going to go out there and say, okay, let's put the boot in and smash him 6-7-0. He's not going to do that because it's Lenny, and with the history and everything those two have been through together, it's one of those ones for me where, 3-0, whatever. I said 4-1 because I can see us I don't know why or how, we're going to either concede a penalty because of what's been going on the last couple of weeks. Something's going to be an even upper for us, so we'll concede a pen, or it'll be an own goal from Trusty. He's going to get his feet all confused and it'll end up in the net. But yeah, we're still going to win that. We'll do the double. What a season.
Do you know what? We could lose that game and neither of them would be able to celebrate because Neil Lennon's ex-Hibs and he's hated by the Rangers fans, so that would break them even more, knowing that fucking First Division Neil Lennon won a trophy and neither of them could. So, win-win. If we win, we're double winners. If we lose, then that just breaks them even more and just compounds their misery. Like
RL77 saying lie down and the Huns are into the Conference League. Yep. That'd be fucking hilarious. Yeah, so in a hype spot on a wee trip to Austria is always good for beer and screen. There you go. Willie's head's gone. So yeah, realistically, boys, we've got the game on the weekend, do the double. We've got a pod next Monday, and then we'll have a season review thing come off the back of that, and then it's the off season. So yeah, I want to thank both you boys for all your help during the year and jumping on tonight, celebrate another league title. Yeah, got a final thought, anyone?
I'll jump in. Firstly, just to extend my gratitude to you for having us on and letting me waffle week in, week out. Much appreciated. I wandered down to the CSC, my local CSC, for the first time this season, to be honest with you, on Saturday. I always love getting down there when I can get the opportunity, and it was no different this time. The atmosphere was absolutely electric. I want to give a shout out to everybody that I had a chat to down there. It was great. It was a wonderful time. In particular, big shout out to John, Neil, and Scott, who were awesome with me with their time and very generous, and it was lovely hanging around with all of you. And looking forward to doing it again very, very soon.
Willie, you got a final thought?
Martin O'Neill, 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 Martin O'Neill.
My final thought is with the amount of random statements coming out about games in the last week. You've got the Dunfermline statement, you've had Motherwell have had a statement, you've had bloody Hibs, you've had the SPFL's had a statement, Weird Club's had a statement. The only one we didn't see was an SFA statement about all this VAR stuff. And if SFA were to put out a statement, all they needed to put in it was, you did SFA. You did sweet fuck all. That's the way I look at it. Like, the good guys are on top. So that's all that matters. Hail, hail, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the week. Champions again. And we'll be back next Monday to celebrate another trophy and doing a double in this absolute shambolic season. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.